talking about how your own mindset blocks or your own beliefs about how things should quote unquote be done are what are ultimately jeopardizing your business's potential for success. And so I think because we're the people who a lot of times are brought in to quote unquote do the things, we see these breakdowns even more. We see people who consistently are getting leads, but then aren't communicating with those leads. Like, but then they're pissed that they're not buying. We're seeing people who want to start a business, but aren't willing to show up online, aren't willing to send emails, aren't willing to talk to people. And it's like, but you just told me you wanted to start a business to help people.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right, Greta. And I think so our topic today is basically things as an online business coach, creator, expert. What is blocking you from being successful? So what is blocking you from making your first 10K or going from 10K to 100K or going from 100K to seven figures? And we see it over and over and over again is that you're they are typically you are whoever you are listening to this, there's something that's blocking you from taking the initial step. And I think a lot of it too is that there's so much information out there. And I would say it's not completely false information, but you're letting it dictate you and how you do business when you really need to look inside and say, like, is this how I want to do business? But also, is this how I want to serve my clients?
Mm.
Because Greta, like you said, like they're not willing to do the things, but like, would you want someone working for you who wasn't willing to do the work? Because if you wouldn't want that from people on your team, why would they want you to be their coach or their expert that they go to? You're like the expert that they go to.
Yeah. And actually, I love that you said serve their clients, and it's even potential clients or just like humans in general, because it's like, now I will say we work predominantly with heart-centered entrepreneurs. So I'm speaking from this space, but it's like in most cases, you have an amazing gift that you could give to the world. And then you hold it back. So like not only does that negatively impact you and your business account, but you're literally setting yourself up to have that person not come into your world, and like they're going to find a solution somewhere. So the question is the other solution they're going to find something that will help them as much as what you have created?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And that's where it's so tough because it's like you have to be in. I think Dan Martell talks about this. Like, you have to be so obsessed with your client's solution. Like, we are literally obsessed. Like every day, like I would say 4 times a week, I attend a live webinar of some sort in time because that's what we teach. We teach people how to sell their high ticket offers through a live webinar. So like I am obsessed with learning the psychology of how everyone does their live webinar, but then I also go into executing it. Like it almost like makes me so upset when someone doesn't communicate their message enough across platforms. And there's a psychology behind that. I think a lot of people get in their own way, Greta, where they're like, no, I seem too needy if I talk about my product that much. Like I seem so desperate. Well, if you change your mindset or your verbiage to saying I seem so desperate into I am looking for that one person who is really in a dark place right now in whatever shape that may be, like whatever it is that you sell in your coaching space. And I just want them to have belief in themselves or have someone that they can turn to be like, hey, that person is there for me in some way, shape, or form, versus like, oh, I'm nagging, or I look like needy to other people.
Also, I want to emphasize you talk about showing up consistently. as a way to build trust. So we're not showing up consistently in a nagging behavior. We're showing up consistently to show that we will show up consistently. Like, we're not going to disappear. Like, we're not just somebody who comes in and like doesn't have a solution, doesn't have a quality product, just flies by night. Oh no, that's the saying.
I don't know either.
Oh my God, every time I try to use analogies, I really try to use analogies. We're not a that type of person, right? We are showing up consistently and passionately about the solution that we offer. And we recognize that, like, also most people don't care the first time we talk about it. They probably don't even care about it the 10th time we talk about it. Everybody is busy, and like, you like mean like this much to them in a lot of ways, because like they have so many other things happening in their lives. And so it's your job to like stand in the corner and be like, hey, like, me, remember me? Like, I can help with one of those things that you're struggling with.
Right. Exactly. If you don't say it, someone else is. And the reality is their solution may not be the best fit for them. And you might be saying, well, Judy and Greta, but like there's so many people in the space. Like, yes, like what I think I saw something where it's like, was the coaching industry like a $6 billion industry or something right now? Like, if you did all the coaches in every niche, like it's a $6 billion industry. Yeah, like there's a lot of people out there who are coaches for sure. But you're doing a disservice to the clients to be able to make their own decisions.
Yes.
So if you aren't a part of, if you aren't sharing your message, then they have no other option but to go with that other person who may not be the right fit for them. And how many of you on this have been like, a client has come to you and they've been like, oh, I wish I would have found you sooner. Or I wish I wouldn't have gone through that person. Or like, that program just wasn't for me. I knew very early on. But like, I didn't know about you.
Right.
And what does that do? And so like, I think like one thing I want everyone to take away from this, like you said, the building trust, is that if you don't talk about it enough, then it's gonna seem like it's, and Russell Brunson says this, it like seems like it's like a fluke, or like, is this real? And so like that, there's a reason why people advertise their movies months in advance that are going to be in theaters. It's not because you're not going to know that it's not in theaters. Like, you could go and look, like you're going to look on Friday and be like, what movies are playing or whatever. Like, I'm going to go see a movie. But like, the point of them seeing it ahead of time puts that in their brain of like, oh, like, yeah, like that's probably worth me going to check out a little more, or at least like considering, or at least watching the trailer to see like if like it's something that we would want to go see. And you got to put yourself in your client's shoes. So a lot of people, I think, are selling how they want to be sold to, and it's not about you. Sorry to tell you, but it's not about you. It's not about you. You need to sell to them how they want to be sold to. So really, like, one thing that we talk about a lot is like, who is it that you want to serve? And like, what are you obsessed with serving them about? And like, what freaking like pisses you off so much about what they're going through right now?
Yeah. Also, I'm trying to think of how to say this nice, because I didn't say it very nicely when we were talking through it. But like, don't be so conceited to think like, I'm going to send one email and people are going to click buy, or people are going to book the call, or it's not because they don't like you or because they're whatever. Like, first of all, they may have seen that email, put their phone down. I mean, I've gotten multiple emails from people where I like started the process and then kids needed me, or a meeting started, or something like that. Don't be so conceited to think that like one ask is enough. Oh, I sent emails all the time. Did you? We say this too. Like, people will tell us, I post about it all the time, or I sent emails and nobody bought. How many emails did you send? 1 to 2, usually.
Yeah, exactly.
You post about it all the time. Even those people who are posting consistently, they maybe talk about their offer once out of every 20 posts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I know. I was just looking at an email campaign, I think, for a launch, and it was like, I don't know, like 18 emails or something that like you should send for somebody. But no, you're right. Like conceited is one word for them. Yeah. I say, who do you think you are that you think you can just communicate once?
Yeah, I mean, conceited is maybe not the right word. And then a lot of it comes back to like, I don't want to bother them.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not bothering them because they need the reminders.
Right, right.
And if they don't, then yeah,
until they say no, like Go for No, which is one of the books that we recommend that everybody reads on our team even, is that until they say stop, like don't stop. Like they're gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you when they don't.
Well, and maybe email isn't their preferred form of communication, so they'll tell you to stop. I mean, we laugh. We have people opt into a 15K program who have opted out of our emails, but obviously are still following us somehow because they ended up buying. Like
exactly, 100%, 100%, and that's where like learning about them and are you asking them?
Yeah,
it's interesting because like that's actually one of the first things is like when we go to create an offer and to create an offer fast is, hey, let's ask your audience. Like, what is it that you need help with? Like, what is it that's holding you back in your business or in your life or whoever it is that you support? What is the main thing that you need help with? And if they've raised their hand and said, I need help, and if your messaging is clear on your profile of what you do to help and they're following you, they're asking for help.
yeah.
And so you're doing a disservice to them by not saying, these are the ways I can help you.
And saying it more than once.
And saying it more than once, yes. Because that person's probably on vacation, like you said, probably like has a million things going on, forgot. And then what's going to happen is something's going to come across their screen, somebody's story's going to pop and they're going to be like, oh yeah, I meant like, I've been wanting to do that. I totally forgot about that. Let me go do that now.
What was the training I was watching? I can't remember if it's one you sent me or if I just decided to do it, where it was like, don't prime somebody to be somebody else's buyer. So basically like you provide all the value, you provide all the stuff, but then you never go for the sale. And so you've alerted that person they have a need, they have something that they need a solution for, but then you never present yourself as the solution, so they find somebody else to do it. And I know you, if you're listening and you're like, Greta, that's crazy. People don't do that. Yes, they do. We see it all the time. We see it with even well-intentioned entrepreneurs who think that they're talking about their offer all the time. And then we get into an opt-in sequence and they don't even talk about their product till email 7 when their open rates have dropped off and their click-through rates are non-existent. Guess what? You primed them with emails 1 through 5 and then they found a solution.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of solutions, we got to hop into a client meeting.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
This is Unfiltered, where I'm hot and heated. Bye.
Bye.